Good morning, good afternoon, good night. How is everyone? Happy to see you brothers here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested in this topic. Some of you probably have read my posts, my shares, and also you saw this, what I wanted to share with you guys today about semen retention. It's quite of a trendy topic lately. I don't know if apart from this application, you've been seeing it around. What is the semen retention all about? And that's what I want to share with you today. That's what I want to talk about in depth. Well, yeah, share my experience, share my story with you also. How did I arrive here? How this had support me so much in my tantric path, in my healing journey, and in just really stepping into my power and every time just refining myself into just being the better version of myself, a better lover to myself and to all areas of my life. So that's what today is going to be about. But before we start, just very quick, I would love to hear from you very briefly, if you don't mind presenting yourself, where are you? And what is your experience or with semen retention? What have you heard or what brought you here about, yeah, in regards to the topic that we're going to be talking today. So just to make it very quick, so we can cover what we want to cover, I'm just going to go in the order that appears on my screen, or at least the same order that appears on your screen. And I'm going to start calling you guys. So Barry Miguel, welcome, brother.
Thank you. I'm new to the Tantra group, and I started signing up for workshops that piqued my curiosity. This is one that I'm quite interested in, just from my own experience, understanding what happens when I wait X amount of days and how much more powerful I feel, as opposed to ejaculating all the time. And I just, so it piqued my curiosity to understand more about that and how I might use that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So until now, you have not done this practice?
Nope. Only on my own.
Yeah. Okay. So you have experience on your own. And can I ask if how many days have you, it's not about counting days, but how long have you been able to extend this?
A week, probably the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, Barry. Well, welcome to this space, to my room and to our room, and also very grateful, all of us, for this platform to be able to share and connect and express ourselves freely. Thank you. David.
Hi, I'm David from London in the UK. I've had various goes at retention. I think probably the most is 4 weeks, when I suffered quite a lot of pain. So I let things go. But yes, and it's very interesting. Sometimes I get so uncontrollably overpowered that it takes my whole life over. So probably 2 or 3 weeks is as much as I would go now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. You mentioned a lot of pain in regards your journey or with the practice.
No, I found that one of my balls swelled up, and I thought, oh well, yeah, it just got intolerable. So a release was a great way to calm that down again.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, David. Mundo.
Hi, Mundo in San Antonio, Texas. I do have experience of edging, and I like to edge for days without ejaculating. I think the most I've ever gone is 10 days without ejaculating. And but what I enjoy most about it is that when I do ejaculate, it's very, very powerful release. And yeah, and it's very enjoyable when I do finally allow myself to release. So I've never gone 30 days. I'd like to try to extend that to 30 days. So I'm interested in this class for that reason.
Right. Thank you, Mundo. Thank you for sharing. Paul.
Oh, there we go. Hi there, I'm Paul from Canada, near Toronto. And like Barry, I'm really quite new to the Tantra for Gay Men group. And I've been here only a couple of weeks and attended many workshops already, which I've been really enjoying. And this workshop also really piqued my interest. I have no experience in doing this, but I'm curious and I want to learn more about it.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. John. You're muted, brother.
Hi,
No.
hi.
Yeah.
I'm from Reykjavik, Iceland. I've been in one Zoom meeting before, but like 2 years ago or something. So I'm like in and out of this group. I am very interested in this topic because I'm very interested in trying to, well, not trying to, like trying to get to top of my sexual energy and to channeling it in the right way and like take control of it, not control of it, more like get to know it better and being more in flow with it. And I think I have managed to have 7 days without ejaculation, but I was not a little bit, I was very frustrated for the last days. So it was kind of a frustrating experience, and I want to get over that feeling, and I want to like be in flow with this feeling of yes. That's my goal here. That's my
Awesome.
ultimate.
Great goal. Thank you. Sean.
All right, I'm Sean in Bay Area, California. And I'm trying to, I think I've gone definitely a week. I think I've gone the longest is maybe 2 weeks. And for me, it's kind of like not having semen retention, I guess, is kind of not the hardest thing for me to do, but it's hard to not, I can't, trying to say this right. So it's hard for me to not ejaculate when I masturbate. So in those times when I'm doing semen retention, I just don't masturbate, not really, because then it's over with kind of thing. And so I'm just kind of like thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to put more focus on that and you know, and be more deliberate and see how I feel when I am retaining, instead of just having it, you know, happen. And kind of the retention just kind of happens too for me. Like it's not deliberate. Like I don't say, oh, I'm gonna go for a week either. So I'm just interested in kind of hearing what you have to say and yeah, and exploring that for myself.
Thank you. I'm writing down all your different notes because I'm looking forward to be able to answer and to clarify and to share a little bit so you get a clear, more understanding of what all this is about. Thank you. Alan.
Yeah, I'm Alan from New Zealand. I'm new to this Tantra, so it's a good experience. For me, probably about 2 weeks maximum. And I'm hoping this will give me a good knowledge and background of how to control it and pretty much take it to the next level.
Thank you. So you haven't tried this practice before?
No, not the practice.
All right. Well, thank you, Alan. Tim, good to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, so my story is a little bit different, and I'll try to say it quickly. I got married at age 18 until age 40 to 2 different women, and I'm gay, and I knew I was gay, but for certain reasons I got married anyway. And being married to a woman, we didn't have very much sex, so that whole part of my youth, I'm very accustomed to not like ejaculation or just semen retention, very accustomed to it. So I came out at age 40 until age 50, I explored. And being, I don't know, naive and kind of from a small town, and my lifestyle, it was dark for me coming out for 10 years. It was a lot of difficulty and challenge, and I had some beautiful experience with lovemaking, like with a man, because as a gay man I learned, wow, that's powerful stuff. But it was so rare that I didn't get to experience much. So after 40 to 50 coming out, I walked away from it saying, okay, I've graduated from coming out 101. I'm going to take a break. It's too much. So from 50 to 60, I haven't really focused on my sexuality once again. So now at 60, I'm really interested in tapping into that power that I just referred to when I did make love with somebody. And because I'm finding that power coming to me in other ways besides having sex with somebody. And the second part of it is, at 60, I'm concerned about my prostate because I'm told that if we don't ejaculate, the prostate can, turn into cancerous problems and things. So it's almost like I tell myself I need to be masturbating just for my health, So yeah, there's all these different layers and levels that I'm very interested in hearing what you have to say about it, because I'm sure that it helps us to bring that power and you were saying yesterday about the testosterone and the manliness and the confidence and the firm, the voice. I love all that, the sound of that. But yet at the same time, are we healthy and just retaining? And then the last piece is my body will ejaculate, like, what do you call it, nocturnal emission, like when you're 17. I have that experience to me, and I don't know, it's just kind of fun. I think it makes me feel like, good Lord, I'm 61 years old and I have nocturnal emissions. So again, many layers.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Tim. Matt.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm new to the Tantra community, but I am somewhat a little bit familiar with retention. I've experimented with it personally, kind of informally at different times. I think when you try to focus on it as a practice, it kind of becomes this thing that you're tracking, and it becomes more difficult. But I think when you're occupied in other things, and you're not so sexually focused, then it becomes a lot easier. I think probably done a max of like 30 days at different times when I was really, I guess, busy with other things, and so it wasn't such a challenge. But if I'm more of an edger, I guess. So there's sometimes that I don't always ejaculate, but can edge for a long period of time. And so yeah, probably the max is probably about 4 days, 7 days, and then that's about it. That's what I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Anthony, you're silent, brother.
Yes,
Now,
here I am.
awesome.
Well, I'm Tony, and I live in America, and I've been learning and experimenting for about the past 6 months. So I've done 30 days a couple times, but I don't count the days anymore. It's not a big deal to me. Right now I'm working on taking the energy and transmuting it throughout my body to bring healing from anxiety. I have serious anxiety problems my whole life. I have abuse and pain trapped in my muscle memory from childhood for years, and all the therapy and all the medication and all the doctors hasn't been able to release that, and I'm finding relief by transmuting the energy and having it go through all my body, even up to my head. Having the full body climax experience, and it's really has been helping release the pain that's caught in my body. So that's what I'm working on now, and I have a visitor here, so a cat. So, but yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Transmitting that energy and using it on a daily basis to release me from all that pain.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Beautiful. Powerful.
And we've talked on Facebook and stuff. So
Yes, we are part of a group of brothers about semen retention.
yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see some like awareness rising on men about taking control of their urges, taking control of their sexual energy, and most of all, using it to create the life
Yes.
that they want, using it as a fuel for health, for vitality, for confidence. You know, many men, all of us, wanted to step out, wanted to be ourselves, wanted to speak our truth, wanted to be loved. And all of us just so afraid of even just expressing ourselves, so afraid of even just saying, please hug me. I just want love. I just want to be caressed. And that is one of the of many of the reasons that when we fuel ourselves with our life force and we transmute, which is a very powerful word, then we light up our fire. We ignite the fire within, and we start reclaiming that power. Because the reason is that for us men, and especially for us gay men, our thank you, Tony, for sharing. Take it from there. Our energy is stuck in our balls. It's where it is what it is our majority of our energy, and we are sexual beings also. And the way that we have developed our connection with other men mainly is very animalistic, is through sexuality. And because of that is our main leak of energy also. That is where we leak our energy in the search of love, but in the wrong way. So we are just constantly looking to feel love, but we feel it through like a moment of pleasure. And we are constantly looking to feel held and approved and accepted. And the way we look for that is desperately at the end, without knowing, in a distorted way, which is just losing time in apps and looking for random sex. But the truth is that we just want to be filled with love. And that is where we are trapped, and where we can be trapped for many years, and in circles. And it's called the karmic wheel, because we don't, that's what we're looking for, and that's not what we're getting, and we just can never be fulfilled. And that's why we just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And I was trapped in that karmic wheel for around 30 years or so. And I didn't know I was suffering. I didn't know I was I was convinced that I was actually having the best time of my life. At some point, it was very pleasurable, but I was also convinced to be a type of a personality that I have built, and a persona that I have built that was not really the real me, and that I was just really in control or dominated completely by my urges, by my desires, without knowing. So it was a big awakening for me to realize that I was just that I was a slave, basically, of my sexuality, and that I had so much energy that it was just uncontrollable. So I hear from all of you guys different angles of arriving here, and different experiences also. The first thing that we need to understand about semen retention is ejaculation control. Basically, we can call it like that. It's a skill that we all should learn how to master. Because your confidence, your happiness, even your fulfillment and abundance depends on it. when you can only last a few seconds, few minutes, which statistically most men do, then at some point also your confidence suffers because your sex life is unfulfilled. And then because of that, every other aspect of your life also suffers as well. So the good news is that we can learn to improve this, and we can learn to improve this skill somehow relatively easily. How a man that starts mastering his sexual energy, that has mastered this power, starts to feel confident, starts to feel motivated, starts to feel driven, and it leads him to mastery in all other areas of your life. So this is something also that for me was on my path when I really understand it. I start understanding, and it really hit me. Words of my teacher, he said, the way a man penis responds to life is essential also how he feels about himself. And he said, if you have a fear in expressing yourself, it would also reflect in the potency of your cock. That was for me a big when I started understanding what was going on with me. That was a big hit, because then I look back into my life and I look how I interact, and it really brought out exactly a lot for me. So the way I arrived to semen retention was not looking for answers. I even by then had remembered that I was also abused, that I have been sexually abused. I just, the way I started arriving is because I started doing somehow transmutation before. Transmutation is just moving your energy, yeah, and that's what we do in different tantric practices, with yoga, with breath work, with movement, and some of workshops you have done here, connecting our sex with our heart, and just start moving the energy and welcome this energy to rise upwards. I was already doing this without looking for any specific. Let's say I reached a point in my life where, like, basically I lost everything, even my relationship. It was just like I had no other thing, but just for me, I was like, okay, I just really surrender to this process, and I had no other choice to just basically start looking inward. Like I try all different directions outwards, and my relationship, all areas of my life were just in that moment just really like just like this coming down, crawling down. I lost everything, and then it all pointed me to sit on the mat and just to like go inside of me and start working for myself. And in that process of getting back to myself and doing the breath work and working my body, after a while, after a few months, I start noticing that I wasn't horny anymore, that I wasn't that horny anymore, that I wasn't controlled by my sexual energies that much. Because for many years, I was really all the time horny. And it was a point that it was quite overwhelming. Sometimes I just wanted to be present in a retreat, in traveling, in a party, in a meeting with friends, whatever it was. I wanted to be present. I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to enjoy. And I was constantly just like looking the whole reality, distorted reality through basically my balls, like just really always sexualizing everything and being just horny. And when I wasn't, so then my free time became very much when I wasn't doing my life or working, and sometimes even that was taking my energy out, where I just wanted to create or have more, be more better with my time and my work. these urges will come at some point that either I end up ejaculating, or I end up masturbating, or I end up looking for random sex, or I end up even having the sex. And then after that, I will just end up feeling empty, feeling tired, feeling depleted, feeling drained. And that was that karmic wheel where I was trapped basically for 30 years. And I was depleted, I was drained, I was completely drained. And then you become in a state where you don't realize that you're depleted, because that's the normal. Feeling tired, feeling depleted, feeling drained. It becomes the way your lifestyle is. So only until I start doing working my body and moving my energy without knowing, I start noticing that, well, wow, oh my God, I haven't been horny for 3 days, for 4 days, for 1 week, for 2 weeks. I haven't ejaculated for 1 week, for 10 days by myself, like just not the urges anymore. I said, what's going on in here? And then that eventually led me to start my tantric journey and start my tantric path, and learning a little bit more what was really happening with me, which was that I was moving my energy upwards. And I had all this energy stuck in my balls, and that was the reason that it was just uncontrollable. So it is very important. It was very important for me, and it's very important in this path to be able to transmute the energy, to be able to move your energy up, because semen retention without transmutation is not sustainable. That's why 95% of the people failed, of the men failed. That's why you get pain in your balls. That's why you can get blue balls. That's why you can get anxiety. That's why you can get anger. That's why you can feel frustrated. That's also the reason with the myth about prostate, because you are not moving the energy. It can just get stuck in there. So retention without transmutation doesn't work. It's very funny that for many of us, and when you have not done this and you have done by yourself, more than funny, it's not a coincidence that your day normally is around 7 days, because after 7 days your testosterone increases 45% when you retain. So imagine the power of our life force. Now, what is semen? It's life force. What do we actually really do with our semen? We create human life. You and I were created from it. So tell me another juice that is as powerful that can create human life. So it makes sense to start to understand that this is to start seeing that, wow, this is not only just for me to throw it on my sheets and rub it with my towel and just go to sleep. That's nothing wrong about that too, at some point, because semen retention is not about suppression also. Semen retention is not about not touching myself, or I cannot feel my being me anymore, a sexual being. Semen retention is about awakening and learning and understanding the power of my energy, of this high voltage golden juice that creates life, and use it to create my life. And if I don't use it to create life, human beings, I can use it to create my projects. I can use it to boost my confidence. I can use it as a fuel for my life in all areas of my life. Now, there is 2 ways that you can, that normally we come here and that we look into semen retention. And actually you guys have mentioned it in your shares. So first, retention. It's important that we understand and we have a clear vision for ourselves. Yeah. What is exactly that we want to do? What is exactly that I'm doing this practice? So retaining, there's 2 ways that we can use retention. One is to build stamina because it builds my testosterone. So then I can use it in a way that I'm going outer work, that I'm going out there, I'm going to the world. So I'm fueling my body, my physical body with my energy to create more stamina. I'm using my testosterone, so then I can go to do exercise. I can use it for my creativity. I can use it to thrive in this life, to go out there with a lot of power, with a lot of strength, cultivated energy. Okay, so we could say that that outer work is a horizontal orientation. I cultivate to go out there and have this and have the capacity and have the life force and be full. Now, the other way is inner work. It's vertical. Okay, so the second one is us versus source, us versus consciousness. So one is us versus the world. The other one is upward, us versus source versus consciousness. Using this path also as a spiritual practice for inner work. Semen retention is it's your number one practice for shadow work, for liberating yourself from your pain, from from using this as your own healing medicine to heal you and and it heals you physically, emotionally, and mentally. So that's why the importance of understanding more deeper and getting clear here, what am I aiming for? And what is this all about? Because retention is like the pulling back of the bow before you aim to shoot the arrow. So the longer I can retain, the more force we can cultivate. The longer we can retain, the more force we can cultivate. Cultivating the energy to connect with source that's why at the end retaining is the ultimate spiritual practice, because it will burn you from the inside to establish a connection with source, with consciousness. So when this happens also, the need of willpower is less, because then devotion shows up. So that is when, in an upward way, horizontal is a different game. And it's good to know where you are. Yeah, are you with me? So retaining is like aiming an arrow, is pulling back of the arrow and building up the strength, force, and then you aim and then you release. So the longer you can retain, the more force you have to aim at your target, whatever that target is. And that is the potential of semen retention. Is why it's very important to be clear, what am I aiming at? I'm aiming at my own healing. I'm aiming at unleashing the power within me. I'm aiming at boosting my confidence. I'm aiming at stepping into my manhood. I'm aiming at reclaiming my power and my sovereignty. I'm aiming at breaking my old patterns and my old habits. I'm aiming at stop being controlled by trickery, by society, by porn, by pleasure, and draining myself. What am I aiming at? Because once we know then why, we can ask ourselves also, who is retaining, what and where? And these are the fundamentals of real Tantra, my friends. So who is retaining is the masculine, is consciousness. What are we retaining? Is the sexual energy, is the feminine, is the Kundalini energy. And where am I retaining? Is the body. So consciousness, masculine, life force, semen, matter, the feminine, and Kundalini, the bridge between human and the divine consciousness. This is why I'm arriving here into Tantra and the Tantra terms. You have heard Shiva as consciousness, and you have heard Kundalini as feminine. And why? Because Kundalini is the bridge. Kundalini energy is the one that rises as a snake through my chakra system, through my spine, going up and looking for unity, meeting with consciousness, with Shiva. So that is also my aim, my spiritual aim. And what happens when I decide to cultivate, or when I am actually cultivating my sexual energy and it starts rising, is Kundalini starting to rise and going up into meet with consciousness, with Shiva. And that's why semen retention is such a potential for spiritual liberation. Because one, we set the sexual energy free and we aim it straight up, is going to take us back to source, is going to take us back to consciousness. So tantric terms is Shakti, Kundalini, reunited with Shiva. So the Kundalini wants to move back to source. So consciousness commands the energy. And the key is to take control of our awareness of consciousness. And that's the tool that starts to take command of the life force. Taking charge of the ability to be present. How do we take charge of the ability to be present? Through our breath, dropping into the body. So that's why, like, all the different practices that we have done and we start discovering here without understanding very much the context, it start pausing us, bringing us more into our body, bringing us more present, dropping into your body, dropping into your breath, becoming aware of your breath, because that is also the way to start taking control, being present, being in control of your awareness, being in control of your consciousness, because consciousness needs a place to land into, which is the body. So by creating and cultivating and divided, concentrated presence inside the body, we create the conditions for the feminine to arise. Shakti, Kundalini energy, sexual energy. So we basically set the stage for the play to begin. As men, we hold the space, presence, in which the feminine can surrender into sexual energy. So she can be free to express herself and ultimately guiding us back to home, into the heart. So we need space, masculine, to fit the energy, feminine, and magnetic presence to hold it, embodied consciousness. So the first thing to be able to practice semen retention is cultivating a space and presence. We need to be able to store that power in the body. So if the body is too heavy, it cannot hold this energy, and this energy cannot rise. We need to amplify and increase that space. And in order to do so, we need to open up a space. We need to clean the body so we can create space to restore, to cultivate, to retain, and then for the energy to rise. Because again, semen retention without transmutation, you're not doing anything. Just holding and not touching my dick, because if I touch, I ejaculate, and I am feeling super horny, but I am trying to retain, but this is driving me crazy. No, no, no. This is that. Then we are being there acting like boys that we don't know what we're doing, which is okay. But that's where that's the first thing that we need to understand, and we awaken to know how to do this. The reason for premature ejaculation is generating sexual energy, but not having enough space in the body to hold this power. So we need to amplify that space. Now, severe premature ejaculation is generating this energy, and immediately the body throws it away. There's not even 1 millimeter within the body to hold this high voltage energy. Not only for overweight, but overweight of mental baggage, overweight of emotional baggage, overweight of trauma. So we generate this energy and boom, it comes out. But a more mild semen ejaculation, premature ejaculation, is only being able to connect and interact with another body for 5 minutes. We could also ejaculate, even 10 minutes, even 15 minutes. When you can have 2 hours, 3 hours, and your cock is hard rock, and you are ejaculating in every cell of your body, and you are present, and you are vibrating the energy, that's the capacity that we have. So lasting for 15 minutes and 20 minutes is for kids. It's for men that haven't stepped into their power. Is for men that haven't awakened to what the true power of what they really are and who they really are. And I started also this conversation saying powerful words, which is the way a man pennies responds to life is essential how he feels about himself. So that's why also we need a practice. We need to have something, we need to have a practice for transmutation. And in the way I teach, there is Tao. You have heard about Tao, Mantak Chia. You have heard about yoga, breath work. You have heard about moving the energy, tantric, all the different tantric practices that fellow coaches here share. I use Kundalini yoga. There is also no coincidence that it's called Kundalini, because it's the Kundalini that arise and Kundalini that rise up. And so it's a perfect technology to clear the channels so the energy can rise. Because again, I need to open up a space for this energy to rise. And the way for me to open up a space is clearing the channels within the organism, detoxifying the channels of the organism. So eventually this energy, instead of looking a way out, and the only way out is through ejaculation, it can start something, the channels inside opens up through my spine, through my chakra system. And then as it starts rising, this is high voltage energy, right? As it starts rising, then it's my healing path starts. Why? Because your essence will confront you when it begins to build up. As I am holding my power and it starts rising, and this is life pure energy, this is Kundalini energy, and she wants to meet with consciousness. So what is in between consciousness and Kundalini? The subconscious, the shadow. Consciousness, we could say, is pure connection. It's your soul, it's the unadulterated love, is the best version of yourself, is your higher self. And your fire, Kundalini, it's at the bottom of your spine. It's stuck in your balls. It hasn't been awakened. And when she starts rising, and it's pure high voltage energy, is light energy, and then so in between, all this is shadow, all this is dark. So what happens when I'm rising my energy? And it's pure light energy. And the more I cultivate, the stronger it gets. It's gonna bright up the path. It's gonna burn within. If it's fire, it's gonna light up fire that on its way up is gonna burn everything that has not been touched by consciousness. That is why spiritual semen retention is a spiritual liberation. Because it's going to start liberating me for all the traumas and everything that is stuck in my subconscious, everything that is stuck in the dark in between my balls and consciousness. So I use my body, Tantra, to liberate myself, to rise and awaken my own fire and my own energy and rise through my chakra system and through my spine. And as it rises, it's going to point out everything that has not been touched by consciousness, and is going to bring it to the surface. And that's when you are going to meet, that's when your essence is going to confront you, and you are going to able to liberate yourself from that pain, from that trauma. So it also all comes back to your nervous system, because the nervous system is where the energy runs and the life force runs. Yeah, and life force is the cultivation of your chi, your sexual energy, your semen. And the only way to amplify this also is to relax, is to give more space to the sexual energy. We need to relax the system so that the nervous system can expand, and the capacity to hold this Kundalini energy becomes bigger. So a relaxed nervous system expands and holds more energy and more intensity. It is the electrical circuit through which the energy, the life force, runs. So to upgrade the nervous system, which means to hold more energy, we need to relax. So, less cortisol means more testosterone. And the way to relax a nervous system that is clogged with anxiety. What is anxiety? It's the opposite of a relaxed nervous system. That's why anxiety, stress. Sometimes many people are like, what? When I ejaculate, I finally take my stress away. So in the practice, when we start also cultivating our energy, we need to start also commanding the energy. We need to focus the energy. We need to focus our attention into one single point. So then that can become a magnet and start bringing the energy and becomes presence and solid. So in many in the practices, that's why, for example, within meditation and when we use in tantric practices that we bring our attention to our heart, it's like we command the energy to rise to our heart, or we bring our attention into our third eye. We command the energy to rise into our third eye. This is how the technology can work. And that brings us, so basically that's consciousness, to be able to focus our presence in one single space, moving undistracted for long enough, and it becomes a magnet of energy. You create a solid presence that starts pulling in and holding the energy. And that will bring us to mindfulness, presence, being in the now, concentrate, holding that consciousness within the body, not outside the body. Is actually making the body as the center of consciousness, the incubator of consciousness. Because we constantly live in our heads. We are pulled by our negative thoughts, we are pulled by our positive thoughts, but when we practice consciousness and we focus our energy into one single point, for example, our third eye, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So by understanding how to transmute this energy, it will help land consciousness in every cell of the body. Because again, the body actually is the technology. So you start becoming so magnet that it can even pull galaxies inside of it. And that's the power that we have as consciousness. So if you train and practice to hold with one focal point long enough and distracted, that is what is going to start cultivating and commanding your energy. So just on a side note, people that are empowered today, they have this very clear how these work. So the tactic that they use to keep people disempowered is to keep people distracted, scattered. So then you cannot hold power. We can say we are chronically disempowered. And that's where our biggest potential is, in cultivate presence, ultimate masculine quality, spacious presence, rich, dense, alive. And that's what is going to take you to master the sexual energy. And that is the concept of mastery. Are you with me? So the cultivation of consciousness will lead to the cultivation of energy also. That's what I'm trying to land in here. The magnetic properties of our presence that hold the energy depends on the quality of the presence. And that's what the practice of Kundalini, yoga, breathwork cultivates presence. So can we hold our awareness in one place for long enough? Meditation. Because meditation practices help us focus our awareness into a point that is so dense that it becomes like a black hole, a portal, drawing in and retaining, drawing in the life force, the energy, the power. So if you have more space, you can hold more. If you have more energy, it's going to push up the space out and towards more expansion. So doing a spiritual practice will lead to more life force, to more vibrancy. So we could say at this point that in order to have semen retention, I have to have transmutation, and transmutation much, very much likely like a spiritual practice. And semen retention is a spiritual, my own spiritual journey of liberation. So by cultivating energy through semen retention is going to invite you to expand your consciousness because you need more space to hold the energy. So that's why semen retention is going to lead to spiritual expansion. It has no other way. So what are some things that are common about that I hear a lot? So for example, blue balls or pain. So it's common initially and is normal, and it disappear over time, but when we adjust the body. Because building energy in a very tiny little space, and if it has nowhere to go, you know, over time, what happens if we start soften and the rest of the body, and we start doing the transmutation, then we can give it more space into that tiny little space, which is our balls. So we give more space and it dissipates upwards. Is initially, it is hard to avoid. It's similar like going to the gym for the first time. You're sore. So massaging helps very much. Massaging your balls so the energy can dissipate. The energy will go into your perineum and then it goes up. Self-massage, Abhyanga massage, oiling yourself completely, focusing on your pelvic floor, perineum, and even, you know, I totally recommend going to your anus. That's where a lot of tensions are held. So oiling that and finding the tensions and breathing into it. As we build the energy, we need to give space by breathing into it. With your core practice, with your yoga, you are moving the body. And as you cultivate the space and the presence, it will start happening naturally. And the massage will help open up the channels, because that's what starts happening when it bumps up into contractions, physical contractions, emotional contractions, contracted space in our balls. So the journey is slowly moving up and illuminating, where we need to expand more and surrender more. Because that ultimately, when it's going to hit us, as we illuminate a trauma that has been stuck in our tissues, and as the energy is coming up and is rising and is liberating from me, and it illuminates that trauma, this is where I'm asked to expand my bandwidth and to surrender to what is showing up for me. And it's my moment for my healing journey. So some of you talk about edging also. Edging is good. Foreplay is key, because semen retention is not about suppression. So the body is full open. Then you engage with sex. Then there is more space. It's going to be much more fun, much more of a full body sexual experience when you start honoring your flow. So having the gasps also in your stimulation, not harsh, with practice, being present, moving the energy. Edging at some point helps in a short time to transmute a little bit the energy if we know what we're doing. Because you turn on the engine and you start feeling horniness and you are aroused and your cock is hard. And so the energy is like you awaken that energy. And sometimes in edging, you express through the voice, maybe You feel that vibration and that energy, and you move it and you dissipate it and you move it around it, your body. If you know exactly what you're doing, you take advantage of what you're doing, basically. When I edging is like turning on my sexual energy, turning on that high voltage. So zzz, it's on. Before it's like quiet, it's off. You're not horny, you're okay. You start engaging, you turn on that electricity. Now, if I use my voice, and I use my movement, and I use my body, I'm by myself through engaging sexually, I'm able to transmute my energy. And at some point I can feel orgasmic. I can feel some even multi-orgasm. I can have even orgasms without ejaculating, because they're waves of that energy that I turn on. And then I'm moving and I'm stretching in my bed and I am allowing myself to express. And with the voice, my throat chakra is connected with my sex organs. And if I am just allowing it and feeling those waves and feeling all of that, I get a boost. I don't ejaculate. It's like I use my sexual energy to expand that electricity around all my organism. And after 20, 30 minutes of edging, or even an hour, I am revamped. Like I plug myself into electricity, and then that expand all that electricity through my body. And I did that expansion with my voice, with the movement, with touch, with my heart, with the whole tantric self-pleasuring, self-love healing. And then I feel like, oh, I actually felt like I had the best sex of my life. I didn't ejaculate. I am supercharged. I move around. That is really edging and taking the full capacity of what edging is about. So you mentioned also, I think it was John, wanting to control this energy and to transmute this energy to be able to use this sexual energy for creation, for other things. And yes, this is exactly what I have explained and what I have touched base. Because this is high voltage and it's such a powerful energy, it's normal that we are overwhelmed by it. It's normal that we cannot control it. It's normal that we can be actually slave of these urges. That we just feel our balls and everything are just fucking horny. And if it's even more aroused, I just need to masturbate. Or sometimes I need to ejaculate to feel like, oh. So when I start doing semen retention is when I start training my sexual energy. It's like an untamed horse. For me, it was uncontrollable for 30 years. Like impossible. So for me, and this is also why semen retention can lead you to command your energy. We say mastering your sexual energy. Because by doing semen retention, it's like you get the reins of your horse. You start getting control. It's no longer when you are driving me crazy and you have these urges and then I am your slave. I need to stop what I'm doing. I lose my focus. I need to go engage. I need to spend some time, and to a point that I can spend even a whole day in an application and decide and like not even finding anyone, or I can even find someone and never feel fulfilled. And 1 hour after I'm horny again, and the second encounter come, and maybe I can have 5 encounters a day. It can go way deeper. It can go way darker. It can go way uncontrollable. So when I start doing this practice, but I know how to do it, I start putting discipline. I start taming my horse. I get the reins of my urges. And after a while, it's dominated. Your urges, those demons, those desires are dominated. They no longer control you. So yes, semen retention is like the training of taking the power away from the urges and the desire and say, no more. I command, is when I want, is when I decide to engage, is when I decide to take the time into going to my self-pleasure, and is when I decide to go into a sexual interaction with my partner. So first, you need to drastically, sometimes we need to do that, especially when we are uncontrolled. It's like any addiction. You cannot smoke 20 cigarettes a day and say like, oh, I'm gonna quit, I'm just gonna smoke. Like either you are pregnant or you are not pregnant. You cannot be half pregnant. Eventually, you will lead into a place where you have take control, when you are taking command, where you are taking control. And then from there, you start also healing your sexuality. It's like before is a battle, and it's actually kind of your own enemy. And it's draining you, and is depleting you, and you are controlled, and it can be way dark. So then you take the power out. But eventually what happens is a healing. It's a healing because the reason it was like this is because it was distorted with friction, with perversion, completely disconnected, perverted. The moment I take my power, then the healing process starts. And the ultimate what starts happening is that then we become friends. And when we become friends of our own sexual energy, then we become best lovers. Then it heals us. Then even our cock supports us. It becomes our body, it becomes our best friend. It will be there for you. It will be the best lover. You don't have to pull it and put it, or you don't have to take pills or Tiagas or whatever to show up eventually and be able to have a good sex. No, it will support you because you have rebuilt the connection with yourself. So to start wrapping up, the deepest practice of self-love, friends, is to be free. It's to be free of anything, of everything. And free of shame, free of confusion, free of guilt. And to heal, we have to go back down to it and take ownership to what is exactly with you. That's the only way to heal and to set yourself free. And semen retention is your best therapist, my friends. Going to therapy, $300, $200 in America, $250. It helps, but it's not really going to liberate you. Use your chi, use your energy. But you need to take ownership. You need to go back down to it and accept your lack of commitment, your lack of discipline, your shame, your confusion. Because then what we do is we are not depressed. We are overexpressed. We end up pretending to be someone we are not. And that is the biggest act of hatred. So the relationship you have with your cock acts all areas of your life. So if you are disconnected from it, you are neurotic, you are ungrounded. You move away around life ungrounded. So being connected with your genitals, with your root, is being grounded. You need to celebrate yourself, feel yourself. As we start retaining and our stamina start rising, our level of testosterone start rising, you start remembering and seeing how powerful you are. You will start feeling your cock. We start acknowledging that part of ourselves, and we start building the relationship with it. And as penetrators that we are as men, we go and fuck life. Because to be empowered with your sexuality, to be empowered in this area, your creativity will increase. And this just to start by you feeling this part of your body. And I'm going to tell you something. When a man walks into a room, and a man that is full, that has his balls full, not that is drained and that is controlled, everyone will turn around. And not because they see him, but because they feel him. This is a man that is full in his power center. So hold on your genitals to come back to your power. Men who are healthy in their sexual expression. So I want to give you a gift today. And incorporate in your practice to start sitting back into your pleasure. Also, I'm going to give you 2 tips today. 1, start sitting back into your pleasure, into your erection. Stop trying to get rid of it. I'm erected, I need to ejaculate, goodbye. Sit with it. Enjoy your cock hard. Enjoy feeling alive, feeling your power, feeling with pleasure. Feel your own aliveness and enjoying that. And that will take you to meet yourself deeper. Allow your power to drive life to you. How do you want to return to your power? Reconnect with your cock. Then accumulate the energy. Semen retention, which will develop physical and spiritually. Now, the relationship is distorted. Our poor dick, we just pull him out, we shake him, and then we make him ejaculate, and then we put him out. Reconnect and heal with your cock. Feel your cock all the time. Grab your balls now. Grab your cock, not when you're horny. Feel it with awareness. Keep your cock healthy, activated. Visit regularly, daily. but with not with perversion, but with love. Start practicing feeling what turns you on, but not only sexually, in life. Talk about it. Make it bigger and bigger and start getting it acknowledged. Speaking what you like, what turns you on, it will bring life force. So this practice I want to give you from starting today, and it's going to support you very much, is start laying down awareness to your genitals. Massage them and be with that part of your body, your hips, your balls, your perineum, your prostate, your anus. Be with this part of your body in a present and loving way. There is no goal. Just deliver love to that part of your body that is disconnected, that is perverted with friction. Deep, freely, relax. Start listening to your breath natural. Stay present, following your breath. And when you are there, start bringing love and tenderness, sensitivity and gentleness to your cock. Not looking for ejaculation, not looking even for erection. Just reconnect with this part of your body. Protect your testosterone, men. What you eat, the electromagnetic field around you, the pollution, your exercise. Part of our testosterone production is how we initiate things in life. Projects, family, venture, business. Protect your testosterone. Number one protection of testosterone is holding your force. Not throwing it away every night to go to sleep and every morning to wake up. Zinc is really good for you. Daily zinc is good for you. Meditation is key for your testosterone. Good sleep is good for your testosterone. Mainly stop ejaculating. When we ejaculate, the fluid is having a huge amount of life force. Not only life force to create many lives, our power center is our God center. So worshiping your genitals, your cock, is the center that holds so much potential to give birth, so much information that we don't even close to understand what it does. So starting to understand that it holds so much life force, and that if we continue to spit it out, we are going to start removing from our bank and have deficiency. Signs and symptoms of creating the desire is gone. So no more ejaculation. What happens when you ejaculate? You don't even want to be next to your lover after coming sometimes. It drags you down. You lost your desire. You feel fatigue. You feel unstable, emotional. You feel erratic. You sometimes even feel unsafe for 2 or 3 days after ejaculating, depending where you are at your health. Especially if you're having health issues, you must save your energy for healing. And trust me, we don't notice that we are depleted, because being depleted is all you know for years. As you start to practice, you start realizing the energy that you have within you. And that will only happen in retaining consciously and knowing how to do this. Your calm is full of minerals. How to retain, stop ejaculating, remove it from the list of your options of the day. Have a mindset and self-pleasure. Sex before was to come. If not ejaculating, then what is sex? That is a great question for you. Intimacy, deeper connection, love. These open a whole new realm of possibilities because now sex is deeper than just ejaculation. What type of lover you want in your life? If it's not only to ejaculate. What do you need from sex? Stop lying yourself. Support, love, being feeling you. If I'm not ejaculating, what is the exchange then? Love, intimacy, connection. And after feeling all of that, you have more energy. You go get to bring to your mission. You put your channels into higher order. This is the beauty of having more energy with you. But it's important because if we are not aware, we are not clear of the consequences of ejaculating, the negative facts. If we are not aware of those things, feeling how depleted you feel, if you are not having that experience, it's going to be very challenging when the time comes. So sit down, get a pen of paper and write down all the cons when you ejaculate and the pros when you retain. That's a mindset shift. And it's not retaining anymore. It's not wanting to ejaculate. Mindset is simply not choosing to hold onto your power. And relax, brothers. It requires relaxation, relax the jaw, relax the muscles, deeply breathe, circulate the breath, transmute, slow and deep, feel your balls with your breath, feel your cock with your breath, stay in the body, and finally use the sound, circulate the energy with your sound current. Communicate from your cock. Let the energy have a sound. Is your vibratory sound that helps open up your centers and moving the energy around you. For this to happen, you need to be connected with yourself. So communicate with your cock and things will start to happen. The energy will move upwards. You start to feel yourself bigger and stronger energetically. If you stay focused on feeling and giving the feeling in the sound, you will turn on your partner to the next levels. You will have more energy and space. Your sounds make space also. Amazing lecture. I hope you received today. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Please look at the program that I have right now. 30-day semen retention. It's amazing to be able to do this with a group of brothers, all coming from the same. We all just want to be better person. We want to be better lovers. We want to learn how to control our energy. We want to learn how to master our energy. You have your transmutation practice desk there with breathwork, pre-recorded, beautiful practice, 40 minutes a day to do it every day. Then you have different yogic practices. I will take you to the 4 stages of Tantra and the 4 stages of understanding how to transmute, how to cultivate. We go very deep. It's a beautiful journey. And then more than what you learn is what you experience. As I said, in 7 days, your testosterone boosts 45%. And then that's when like you basically drink that medicine. You basically drink that ayahuasca. And then it starts, and then you have a group of men supporting you, and everyone is just striving to go for it. But now you're having the tools, and before you could not go after 3 or 10 or 7 days or 10 for pain in your balls, for feeling frustrated, for all of this. With doing the right things that you're going to be doing, you are alone by yourself, 15, 20, to arrive to 30 days. And many men after this challenge, Tiaga, I'm on day 65, Tiaga, I'm on day 80. Also, Tiaga, I ejaculated, it was amazing, and I'm starting again. Because it's not about suppressing, but your connection, the way you interact with your life, everything changes, my man. So please look at it. Please ask me any question. There is still a discount for this app. You have $100 discount. Use it. It's very cheap therapy. And it's very powerful. It's an awakening for you. It's really stepping into your power, into your manhood. But if you're curious more, if your mind needs to know more, go to my website, look at the testimonials of the men that have done this. Incredible. From 75-year-old men that they were not having an erection anymore since the past 15 years and having a 10-minute erection when they wake up. For men that were trapped in porn and addiction, and they took the reins back of their energy, and then they start to healing, and today they have a relationship. All type of different, from men that were having long sickness and lung capacity, old men, shortened breathing, how everything expanded, anxiety, depression, stamina, sadness. My story. I was liberated from sexual abuse. I healed, I forgave, I saved myself, I took control over my urges. Holding this and going through my own healing path, I remember I was abused. I was able to bring it out. I understood all my patterns. I broke all those patterns. I liberated that. And now I'm in service, supporting others. It's been the path of Dharma. So thank you so much for being here. If you have to go, we're finished. If you have any question, I'm here. You can ask me now. If you want to share anything as we start going also. Space is yours.
Why is the Kundalini feminine energy represented with a snake?
Because that is Indian. That is Indian. That is Shakti. That is Kundalini. That is the snake. It's represented because it goes up. It's the coil that rises through the spine. And funny enough, is also why religion put the snake as the bat. Because religion is separating us within, actually at the end, the snake and the symbolism of the snake is our path of liberation. It's our spiritual path. It's the rising. And when religion took itself and put itself in this world to control us and to say this is not, this is good, this is bad, the first thing was to point the snake as the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, teaching in religion that sexuality is bad.
Yeah, and that's why we're full of guilt and shame, and freeing ourselves is start, like I think the biggest from everything that we can attack ourselves, or that we can approach ourselves for our own healing, sexuality, sexual energy will take us directly. will be aligned, and it will be like the most powerful and best way to embark on our journey. Yeah.
So on the continuum of sexual urges, you're describing a time in your life when they were extreme, and then you mentioned a 75-year-old in your class who on the complete other end doesn't feel any urges at all. What did he do to change that? Like to bring the urge back?
So urges, when I say urges, I am constantly aroused. I have a great connection with my sexuality. I am not suppressing it. But my urges are not anymore distorted, are not anymore, I need sex, I need to come, I need to ejaculate, I need sex, I want sex, I want sex. My horniness is a boost of my electricity, of my magnetism, of my sexiness, of my fire, of me showing up in life, of me feeling sexual, and yeah, like, and I walk into a room and people are attracted by my sexual energy because it's part of my power. That's when I said about healthy urges, let's say, yeah. What happened with this man, we start doing everything that we do when we start cultivating. He was not ejaculating, but the fire is there within. We start doing the purification process. What happens again, if the body is full of toxicity, it has so much weight, all type of weight, the energy cannot circulate. So as first of all, he will not have an erection, but he will be able to ejaculate, and he will ejaculate kind of constantly, even without having the erection at that age. So not ejaculating and start supporting the body for a healthier transmutation. This man also used to go to bed at 3 in the morning, wake up at 12 in the afternoon. This man starts now going to bed at 10, 9:30, 10. This man wakes up at 6 in the morning. He has a cold shower. He drinks turmeric tea, a good tea, a hot tea in the morning. He used to wake up at 11, 12 and have a Coca-Cola, 75-year-old man. He will not have any type of breathing exercises. He had a lung issue already, like diagnosed of like his lung capacity just going into like some sort of chronic. Kundalini yoga, breath of fire, pumping life force into the organism, the toxification. This man also had no boundaries whatsoever. His family, his daughters, everyone putting all sorts of responsibility, even his daughters being 30 years old. He started putting boundaries because when you need to open up a space to cultivate this energy, is not only within the body. It's what am I responsible for and what I'm not responsible for. This man also was living in an apartment for 20 years where he had clothing, shoes, bags, furniture of like 20 years old, and like he only will use 20% of it. He throw away everything. He cleaned his house. He created the inner space that he was created inside of him. He created outside of it. He changed his routine. He started eating healthier. He started supporting his vessel, his body, to be able to now, I am going to cultivate this power and I am going to support and give the right conditions for my vehicle to move that fuel around.
I see.
Very short time, he started having erection.
Huh. Wow. Did his lungs heal?
His lungs healed. His are healing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shallow breathing shortens your life, and we don't realize sometimes. We just breathe from out of 10, maybe we are in between 1 and 3. We just really bring the breath until here. Having a practice, a guided practice, a mentor, understanding, Hold the breath and start working with your breath. Master your breath, master your life. Extend the capacity of your lungs, extend the capacity of your awareness, of your mindfulness. Yeah, this mind process is very beautiful and very powerful. And I do have a lot of older men. I have men that for 60, 65 years ejaculated all their life, every day, since they remember. And funny, many of them, no struggle whatsoever within the journey of 30 days. But a revamp. They are feeling like they are 40 years old, 35. Their stamina, their everything. Whoop. And we want to live life like that. We want to start just closing down and then just dying before we really die. And then let sickness and let that all that stickiness and let all those traumas and let all that toxicity define me and jail me. And brothers, if we don't confront our reality and our healing journey when we are capable, when we are healthy, as you guys are at the age that we are, we're gonna have to confront that at the time of death. So confront that, and when you are now alive, aware, heal yourself. Don't wait for last minute. When you take your last breath, it's a peaceful breath. It's not the most painful, catastrophic catharsis, difficult last breaths in your life. Heal yourself now. It will just bring you prosperity, health, wealth, love. Reclaim your power, reclaim your sovereignty. This is game change. Tony, yes, we use pelvic exercises, Kegels to bring the energy throughout the day. We learned, for example, in my 30-day semen retention, you learn that, you learn the different techniques of Taoism, and you learn the technology really deep. You learn, we did a little class yesterday, but for you guys that were there yesterday, combining that technology and making that a daily practice with retaining. That's the key, that's the secret. And that's why with Kundalini Yoga, hold the breath, use the pelvic exercises, squeeze rectum, sex organ, perineum. That also will develop our PC muscles. By doing that daily with the Kundalini Yoga practice, for example, with yogic practice, then on the long term, I have strengthened my PC muscles. So then when I am at, those are your muscles in your perineum, in your balls. Those are the muscles that control when you go to pee.
Okay.
And when with the practice of the yoga practice and daily practice, and you're doing that every day, you start working those muscles. So then they become stronger. So then next time you are feeling aroused and your balls are full or whatever, and then you ejaculate, you can just close it. And they have enough strength to hold it. So that technology of the practice that I teach, without knowing, we work on every angle. We command the energy to rise. We develop strength in our PC muscles. We clear channels so that the energy can rise, so that there can be proper transmutation. We create the right conditions for the body. We start moving and opening the channels. So we start liberating ourselves. Traumas, healing starts happening. When I pump oxygen into my organism, is life force. So my pores, my skin, my vitality, my magnetism. We start developing mental stamina, spiritual stamina, physical stamina. It's $1 million practice. I love that you guys are so interested, and like it's really calling you because it's also time. We are waking up as humanity, and we are waking up as men. And we are stepping into our manhood, and we are stepping into our power. And we are reclaiming our sovereignty, and we're not anymore allowing to be tricked by society, by pleasure, by porn, by fantasy. And maybe that's why the topic of semen retention now is trendy, because it's the time for our society and for men to start rising, to start reclaiming their full power. A lot of things are coming out. We're living times where throat chakra has been activated. Women are coming out of speaking their truth. Rapists, all this is coming out. We are just like in all different angles, we are being activated, and we are rising, and it's just coming to us. And this practice is your ultimate liberation. There is no better thing, brothers. There is no other really thing. And we are here also already in this niche. We are here meeting in this application where we learn about Tantra. We use the Tantra practices to liberate ourselves. So we are using the body to be our path of liberation, our path of illumination, basically. It's through Tantra that we are choosing that path. The other path, which I don't know much about, it's called Advaita Vedanta, and is when they choose of nothing to with the body, their path of illumination. We are using Tantra, using the body. All right.
What was the name of that other path?
Advaita Vedanta.
Avanta?
Advaita Vedanta.
I never heard of it.
That is the path of not touching yourself or giving yourself to source of renunciation of the body. Well, we use the body. So remember, if a man's life force can be diminished, drained, and diluted, then he won't be a problem. He will be a complaint. Sit down and shut up. The most feared thing in our society is a strong, conscious, sovereign man that lives by his own rules. A man that doesn't succumb by the tricks of society through porn, games, fantasy, predation, and temptation. This man cannot be controlled. This is what I have for you today, brothers. Thank you so much. Please go check my link. Please go check my web. Please really use that. Take advantage of it. We're going to have so much fun. It's beautiful to have the community. We talk once a week. You have your practice. We have a community group, also a chat where we are supporting all and everyone is sharing their journey. Then I also have my Tiaga men, which is the men that have already done this journey and have transformed their life, and they do this as a lifestyle. You become part of this community of awakened warriors, and then you have these teachings and these yogic practices for life. It's not only during the 30 days. All the material is recorded, pre-recorded. Our live Zooms are recorded, then the links are sent to you. You have 4 yoga practices. You have 1 self-pleasure practice. You have 8 calls during the 4 weeks. 4, which is lectures, 4, which is Q&A, where all the community comes and everyone shares their story, where they are, and they're so powerful when everyone is just sharing their journey and the breakthroughs that they're having. Very beautiful, and in 30 days, you awaken to your other reality. You have experienced what it is, you have experienced for yourself, and that will give you the strongest foundation, and that will really ignite your fire. To from there, you just have awakened to another reality. You have a step into something different. That's only what it takes. So then you embark your own journey.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Tiaga.
See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.